Hello and welcome back once again to Movie Reviews. Final movie of the night. First of all, let me say, you may notice I'm not wearing my normal uniform shirt tonight. I've actually no longer working for the movie theater. Today's the 23rd, effective as of the 19th, I no longer work for the theater. It was a mutual parting, so it's not a major type of moment. I came into work one day and the general manager called me into his office, so we had to talk about some stuff. And throughout the course of it, he said that the theater was considering parting ways with me, but it wasn't a negative thing. I'm eligible for rehire and all that type of stuff. I can still use some of my perks from being an employee, where usually if you're just flat out fired, you're not allowed to do that anymore, and you're not eligible for rehire. So basically it came to, he was saying that they're considering letting me go, and I basically said that would probably be the best thing for now. He said I was eligible for rehire, so I'll probably reapply at some point in the future. But for right now, this is probably going to be one of my last movie reviews. One of my perks that I get as an employee was I got to see movies for free. One of the other perks is after you've been here so long, they give you movie passes in your paychecks that are basically, you can distribute them to your friends and family so that they can come and see movies. But after talking with the manager, he said that, any of the ones that I had that weren't expired, I'm still welcome to use. So that's what I was using today to watch the movies. I just wanted to kind of get rid of the ones that I had that weren't expired. And I picked up my paycheck today, which I thought was going to be my last paycheck, but I actually have one more coming. And in my paycheck, I had more passes. And since I have another paycheck coming in a couple weeks, I'll have more passes in that one. So I will still get to see movies to a degree, but the spacing is probably going to be even more than what it is now. And I've actually been considering moving out of this area, so once I move, the passes won't be of any use. So this may be the last review for a while, and sorry to say that. I'll still squeeze in some product placements when I can find stuff. I do have some ideas for other series that I want to start doing. I just have to find time and get settled into someplace permanently before I start doing them. Right now I've been staying at a weekly rental place, and then I can usually swing for about a month there, and then I have to move back into the car for a couple weeks, then back into it after I get a couple more paychecks. And I'm really just not stable enough to really go out and buy a bunch of excess stuff, because I only have limited room in the car. So when I have to pack up and move back into the car, I don't have room for a lot of stuff, and anything of any major value I don't want visible. So I've been considering relocating, because I do have a couple offers in other areas, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So there will be more stuff coming. I just gotta wait till I'm in a more stable situation than what I am now. So other than the occasional product placement, this is probably gonna be the last video for a couple months, maybe longer. I'm not sure yet. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'll have something sooner. But that's basically the situation now. So for right now, this will be the last movie review I do. And I saw Planes. Long lead up to say I saw Planes. Planes, basically, it's Cars 3, except with planes. Basically, you got the crop duster airplane who dreams about being a race plane. Everyone kind of tells him, you can't do it, you can't do it. He says, I'm going to do it anyway, regardless of what you guys say. And he actually manages to qualify for the race, but he's kind of sloppy. He's not used to racing. His manager, who's a truck, is teaching him racing out of a Air Racing for Dummies book. Yeah, they actually went there. So then there's this other old airplane that lives there that was a fighter plane in the war. So he gets him to start training him. So then he qualifies for the race, or he's already qualified for the race, but he actually shapes up. So then he's racing. It just basically goes straight into the race. There's not really a lot of build up to them getting there other than him qualifying. So then the race is they have to fly from one place to the next, and then they stay overnight, and then the next day they start out racing again. So they're jumping from all these places to like fly around the world. So basically all the filler story that's not the race is them parked in a different location for the night. So as he goes on, he gets a little bit better. He learns new things about flying. He's afraid of heights, so he always flies low through the valleys while everyone else is way up in the air, which at first it's costing him because obviously the higher up you go, the quicker you're going to get to your destination. So the first couple races he's coming in last place, and then as it goes on, he starts to find ways to use his low flying to his advantage and actually starts to jump ahead. Then he gets sabotaged by the Rip Slinger plane, which is the green one they show in the preview. It's kind of the green car from the first Cars movie, how he was kind of against lightning. And he kind of like, and the other blue car, he kind of like shoved them into the wall and caused the wreck. That's basically kind of the Rip Slinger character. He's just jealous. He doesn't want to lose, so he starts to be a dick. So he actually gets sabotaged by him and ends up in the ocean, where he ends up on he gets rescued by some other planes, which are military planes, which the old plane that trained him was a military plane, so they escort him onto their ship, the big like battle fleet ships, the aircraft carriers. That's what I'm looking for. So they escort him to the aircraft carrier, and they're kind of helping him get fixed up a little bit. And he's looking at the wall, and he sees that this pilot that trained, or the plane that trained him, that he thought was this huge war veteran, had all these missions, only ever flew on one mission. And so he later he gets back in the race, gets to where he's supposed to be. At first he's supposed to be disqualified from the race, but then they say that since his radio is tampered with, they're going to let him fly in the last leg of the race, but he's going to have a penalty, so he's going to fly later. So while they're camping out there for the night, he kind of confronts the plane that trained him, and the guy is like, yeah, I did only fly the one mission, but here's why. Turns out that he used to be a trainer, and his rookie squadron all got shot down, and since then he's had issues with not being able to fly, which him and Dusty kind of had this little back and forth about, you're afraid to fly, and he's like, yeah, well, at least I'm not afraid of heights type of thing. So they have this little back and forth, and then it just boils down to, if you would have known my true story, would you still have asked me to train you? And Dusty admits, no, I wouldn't have. So they're kind of at ends, and then it's the final leg of the race, and the green plane and his lackeys are trying to take Dusty out of the race again, and the trainer plane finally gets the courage up to fly, comes in and intervenes, helps Dusty get ahead, and basically it comes down to the finale, and they're crossing the finish line, and it's Dusty and Rip Slinger going neck and neck, and Dusty wins. Yay! You kind of knew that was going to happen. There was a moment before that where Dusty wrecks again, but it was before they landed in the other place, he actually wrecked the plane, or wrecked himself. But he has this moment where he kind of makes peace with everyone, and everyone kind of donates a part to him so he can get back put together and back in the race. Basically all the friends that he made along the way. So then he wins the race, blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. Like I said, it's basically the same type of premise as the first Cars. I never saw the second Cars, so I don't know how it compares to that. But yeah, it's basically just underdog gets in the race, and this other guy is kind of a douche because he doesn't want to lose. And there's, the old veteran who teaches him. There's the love interest who he has a falling out with, but then gets back together with. costume change a couple times. You know, he gets fixed up at least twice in the movie, so he gets a new look a couple times. Yeah, that's basically it. Not really much more to say about than that. If you like puns, there's a lot of pun humor in it. Basically, a lot of plane stuff. Like the aircraft carrier was supposed to be the Eisenhower, and they called it the Flysenhower. Just stupid shit like that. So if you like puns, you'll probably laugh a little bit. There were a few points I actually chuckled at, but they weren't puns. They were actually like little quick-witted one-liners. They weren't great, but they were kind of stupid enough to make me chuckle. So yeah, that's basically it. It's Cars, but with airplanes. Even the opening title, it said "From the World of Cars" as a big, huge title card. And then it cuts into like the first couple planes flying around, and then it throws up the planes logo. And it's like, really, why don't you just call it Cars 3, subtitle planes? Or, we know it's from the world of cars. It's living vehicles. We know it's from the world of cars. We get it. What's next? Cars 4 is going to be boats, because they had boats in this one. You know, because in the first Cars, they had the helicopter that had the face on it. And that's where they got the idea, hey, why don't we do one of all planes? You know, because they're living too. They got faces. And this one, they had boats that had faces. So, yeah, next we're going to get boats. And then submarines. Yeah, we get it. But, yeah, so, yeah, because it'll be a boat race next. You know, the speedboats. And then they'll have this little, like, crappy tugboat who thinks he can be a fast racing boat. Really? Give it up. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just making it up off the top of my head, but it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, so as far as the star rating goes, I don't want to run out of tape here. I think I got enough time to finish this, hopefully, even after my 20-minute rant of why I no longer work at the theater. So, as far as the star rating goes, let's go with, I'm going to give it a solid 3. Which actually, I should actually give it a 3.5, but the puns drag it back down. I mean, I actually enjoyed this a little bit more than Percy Jackson, and I gave Percy Jackson a 3. So I should bump it up a little bit, but the puns and the repeat storyline of, let's do Cars for another time, you know, it loses a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to say it's a basic, average, middle-of-the-road Disney Pixar Cars-based movie. So we'll go ahead and give it a 3. It's not bad enough for me to bump it down to a 2.5. I mean, if it would have been more punny, I probably would have, but they kept it to a bare minimum. So, yeah, we'll stick with a 3. Anyway, that's it for this review. Like I said, not sure when my next movie review is going to be. If I stick around here and I can use my passes, then I'll probably do a few more of these. If I do decide to relocate, then it's going to be a while. So yeah, but I will have at least one more product placement video put up after this. So you'll have that to look forward to. So anyway, yeah, that's it for my quadruple feature day. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, we'll see you at the movies.